Hello friends, in my last video of Django AJAX Postgres CRUD series, we have discussed how to perform the create and the retrieve operation. Now in this video I will be talking about this particular button called delete. So let's move on to the code. So here is my Django app, and let's come to the stream app. Let me open few files. First urls.py, then views.py, and in context to project level urls.py, we already know that there is, sorry, not this one, this is the mark over here. This is the main route would be stream, though that means over here we have a stream, right? And followed by stream, whatever would come, that would come under the right over here. So it would be an empty string, or else we will have an add, edit and delete. So today's video is all about the following path function call. What is this all about? Okay, now before we get into the delete, we must remember one thing, that our project comprises of the template. So let me open the template file. This is the one, and we also need to open the static file. So these are some very important requirements that you need to keep it in mind. So we are focusing on the stream register btn. So if you come to our, in fact we have already seen this particular template even before in the last video. So we clicked on the stream register btn, and then it gave a call to the AJAX right over here. This is the AJAX button, and the moment you give a click or a click event, the control came right over here. So we have been already familiar with this particular functionality, but there is something which you should remember, and you have to keep it in mind as well. Like in case we are inserting a new record, okay, so when we are inserting a new record like what we did over here, the very moment we are inserting a new record and then we are clicking on the stream button, it's not just the data is going to the database, it's not just that only. Parallelly you have to think about few more informations. So right now these two data are there in my table. Okay, so once I fill this particular text field and I click on the save button, it's not just that the record will come to the table. That's not the only thing. I'm saying it repeatedly. The reason is you also need to populate the existing data that is there in the table plus the new row inside your template, like what has been shown over here. And that is what more challenging stuff is, that insertion plus display of the existing plus the new data you need to show in your template, and that is what we have to keep it in mind. And often in this regard the issue takes place actually, because over here there are two things are there. One is AJAX part and other one is a template part. So when you're clicking on the button, let me explain one more time. When you're clicking on this particular button, the AJAX is given a call right over here. So the control will come to this, it will pick up the data, and we already discussed that the stream ID won't be there. CSRF token will also be there, that will be picked up, and then the AJAX is given a call. The control after executing these three key came directly to your endpoint. As you can see over here, the stream ID won't be there, so stream add would be given a call. So that will bring us to this particular route, and on reaching over here we fill up this data which we have already done, and then the response would be sent back, right, once you are clicking on the button. So you have given a call to the post, so insertion has already been done, and then you are returning this response. So this response which you are returning, this particular stream, will again go back to your AJAX, right, inside your AJAX success function. So these were the two functions. So the data will come right over here, and this entire portion is now going to be triggered, and I'm very sure when you see it for the first time there would be hell lot of confusions. I'm very sure about that, but I will try to make it clear in this particular video. So first thing is that we will clear the input, that is the text box. This particular text box which was holding the input which you have given would be cleared off, and stream ID is not there, but in case if it is, then that will be also cleared off, and this message will be shown at the front end in the template, and it will wait for 2 seconds and then it will fade off. And then there is a div tag, a table tag called stream list. If you come to the template, you will find inside the template, if I expand the table tag, over here we have got a stream list. So that stream list is been cleared off and a new response is been fired over here, and this is the place where often confusion pops up. The first thing is that you might wonder that why am I writing this portion? What is the need of this? Okay, let me do one thing for your understanding. Let me first comment this entire portion. Okay, so I commented the whole portion. So now what will happen if I insert the data, then the response will come to the success and the table will be removed completely and it will be kept empty, right? Let me close the server once and let me restart it, and just let me show you what is the consequence of that. So initially when the page will load, at that point of time there will be no problem. Why there is no problem initially? Because at that point of time the following route has been called empty, this empty route has been called, and a control comes to the stream list. So at this point of time it will pick up the data from the table and that will forward it to the add.html. So it will come directly to the template with the context which we have already discussed in the last video, and that context will come right over here in my for loop, and then it will be iterating the entire stuff. So for that reason there is no problem when you're loading the page, or if you come to the home and if you click stream, there would be no problem with this display of the table, because this whole thing it will be taken care by the template because of this particular endpoint that is sending the data. Again and again I am showing so that it is very crystal clear. So initially when you are loading, at that point of time this particular function based view work, and the context is forwarded to the templates over there. Inside the template we went for the interpolation, and we picked up one list at a time from the multiple list, and we have put forward this entire thing. Because of that reason you were seeing this. Okay, even for your better understanding, we can do one more thing. Let's change this particular caption of edit to, it is coming from HTML, so I'm writing over here HTML, and this delete also I'm writing it from the HTML, just to make you understand that this is the portion that is actually getting rendered initially. So as I hit the route and see over here it is showing edit HTML temp and delete HTML. So this particular portion is working. Okay, until now there is no problem. In fact, Ajax is no way involved up to now. But now comes a portion when you are going to insert a data. Suppose I want to insert EEE, and what will I do? I will click on the button. The moment I will click on the button, at that point of time what happens? The moment you hit the button, this particular button has an ID, and then Ajax comes in picture, and then this whole stuff is going to work, right? And once this portion is going to work, it will go to this particular endpoint. That means URL will come right over here, and then it will come to this particular view function, and it will insert the response. And after inserting the response, in the last video we discussed that it will perform list comprehension. That list comprehension has been done, and the response has been forwarded to whom? Not to the template, rather to Ajax inside the success, inside over here. And unfortunately I have removed my entire table content, hence this table will not be visible according to the current code of Ajax. Let me show you that now. Let me hit the enter one more time, and let me give EEE, and as I click on the save button, bingo, see the message came, it went off, but the table is completely empty because we have cleared this content. Now you understand. If I do not write this piece of code, your table will not be shown. After insertion, I repeat, after new insertion the table will not be shown. But yes, if you reload the route again, at that point of time it will be giving a call to this endpoint. Then again the data will be picked up from this particular function based view, and the data will be forwarded directly to the HTML template. At that point of time this piece of code will work, and you will get to see the data once again. Let me show you. As I click on the stream, you will get back the data. Look, but the time when you're inserting the data, at that point of time the route is different. The route is not this, the route is this one, and hence AJAX is coming in picture. It is picking up the list comprehension, and that is what it is forwarding to the AJAX. And since AJAX is clearing of the template and it is not rendering the table, for that reason after each insertion of a new data you will not see the previous data plus the new data will not be visible over here, because AJAX is not re-rendering. Making sense, I believe, right? So again I'm telling you, if I move to some other route, if I come over here, there won't be any problem, because at that point of time the following endpoint is working, and since this following endpoint is working, for that reason data, the context is directly forwarded to the template, hence AJAX is not coming in picture. Oh my god, how many times I've said I don't know. But I hope this time you really understood that why this is required in context to AJAX. So again I'm showing you for the last time. Suppose I go for a new insertion, suppose EC, and if I click on the save button, at that point of time AJAX is getting a call. So this AJAX will come in picture, this message will be shown, it will stay for 2 seconds and then it will get dissolved, and that the table will be completely wiped off, and hence no record will be shown over here. Please see very minutely. As I click on this, message came, the table got cleared off and the no data has been shown. But yes, when I will click on this particular route, at that point of time AJAX will not get called. We will be calling to this particular endpoint, and hence the query set is will forwarded directly to the template. For that reason again the data will come back like what you can see right over here. I believe now you can understand how relevant is this, right? So now what we will do is that we will undo this particular comment portion. So once I undo this particular comment portion, and let me show you once again, we have over here also edit button and delete button like what we had got in the template. For our understanding, this template edit button, I wrote edit HTML and delete HTML. In context to the AJAX, let me write over here edit AJAX and delete AJAX, so that you can understand that when I will be inserting a new record at that point of time, this is the portion that is actually going to work, not this particular template. Only when I go for a fresh reload at that point of time, this portion will be working, not the AJAX part. So for understanding, we have made this particular button caption change. So let me stop the server because we are bringing some changes in the AJAX. So for that reason I prefer to restart the server, and it is also good practice to come to the inspect and clear the cache in case if there is any cache old data is been held by the memory. So let me clear off, and now it is all good to go. Okay, fine. Now let me insert the data. So again I'm telling you, this particular thing means you are getting the data from the template. Okay, I have said it number of times so that after this I believe you shouldn't have any confusion further. Okay, so this is the data that is reducted to the template. For that reason you are seeing this particular data right over here, and hence edit HTML is what been visible over here. Now let me insert a new data, suppose BCA. As I click on the save button, AJAX will be given a call, henceforth the control will come over here. I'm expecting the button would be edit AJAX and delete AJAX. Let me see now. As I click this, see over here it is showing edit AJAX and it is delete AJAX, and the table is rendering with the previous data plus the new data as well, because the AJAX is working right now. Now I hope you understood how relevant is this particular portion. If I don't do this, then after every insertion your record will not be shown. Okay, but right now you are seeing the data after insertion. That's the reason it is edit AJAX. And again if you click on the stream, then again the data will be the route will be the following route would be there, and the jQuery will be forwarded to the HTML template directly. At that point of time you will be again seeing edit HTML and delete HTML, because data is not coming from AJAX. Let me show again. See over here it is showing edit HTML and delete HTML. So why we are needing in this context, I hope it is clear now. Because of the every insertion we have to re-render our table tag. For that reason this portion is very important. Okay, so far so good. Okay, fine. So now we have got two options. We have to delete from the we have to perform the functionality from two different places. One is to delete the functionality from the template, another one the delete functionality from the AJAX. Okay, let me show you the template first. In the template, if you see the form, when you are clicking on the button at that point of time, this particular form will be given a call, and if you look at this particular action, then you will understand something very minutely, because this is where the Jinja template engine comes in. And since in Ajax we don't have any Jinja, that's the reason we have to write the entire path. So this is a root, then comes stream, and then come delete. So this is the route I'm targeting. The first is stream is there, we already know that, but still again for your simplicity, let me open the tracker tag, and here is the, sorry, not this one, URL, and here is the stream. So for that reason, this stream is what you are seeing in the Ajax. So the root is there, then comes stream, and then comes delete. Okay, so we are targeting this particular route, and after that we have a variable over here which is going to hold data, because there are dynamically we are going to choose this particular button. Right now, this is very important. This part is very important, because when you are when you will be clicking on this delete button, we need to identify which particular ID it is. We need to identify that, because according to that the deletion will be taking place. So the route is actually dynamic. So for that reason we need to have a variable over here. And now look at the variable. Even the same thing is also there for the edit, although in my next video I will be talking about edit. But look over here, one small change I have made. In case of edit I have written pk, and in case of delete I have written stream id. Why did I do this? Well, just to make you understand, this is simply a variable name. You are free to choose whatever variable name you feel like. It's not a problem. I took it pk because in my table, if I reload the table, over here the ID is also known as pk. For that reason I wrote pk, but that does not mean that it has to be pk all the time. You can write whatever variable name you want, as long as it is a sensible one. The data type is integer, that's the reason we have to write integer, so that's fine. So I intentionally wrote over here stream id just to make you understand that you are free to choose whatever name you want. That's not a problem. So the route over here is dynamic. That's the reason why, means as the ID will come, and accordingly the route will get formed. That means the initial stream coming from here, so it will be root / root, then stream / delete, and then the following ID. And this whole process is what called URL reverse or reverse URL, because you are creating the URL at runtime. So it's a reverse URL or URL reverse process of Django. Please keep it in mind. Okay, this can be an interview question where they might ask you this question, that what is URL reverse or reverse URL. So that means over here the data which is coming from this particular HTML. Now look over here, when I'm giving a call to this particular stream, the data is already there, right? It came from the, again I'm taking you back, it came from the stream list. It has forwarded the entire context. The context has come down over here. So right over here the whole matrix is there, the double dimension matrix or list of lists are there. So from there I'm picking up each item or each list, and I'm rendering the name. That's what you are seeing right over here. And at the same time you are also passing the ID. Inside the stream I have got one attribute called ID, that what I'm passing it over here. Okay, so that's how this particular endpoint is getting framed. Please see, it's a reverse URL, so you have to write over here URL, and then the name of the alias name of the URL. I have written over delete underscore stream, because this is delete underscore stream. Okay, don't write this one, you should write the name rather. So you are writing the name over here, followed by the object which holds the list, and inside that we have got one attribute called ID. As you can see, it's written over here. Now this ID is auto generated. I will take you to the model and I will show you something very interesting, that I did not create any attribute called ID. This ID attribute is auto generated, but if you really want you can do it. I have kept it comment statement, but if you want you can write this particular field. Even if you don't write, this particular field will be generated automatically. So it's an auto field, and it's also going to be primary key. It's true. So this particular field is there in all the model that you will be creating in due course of time. So that's the ID which we are targeting. So this is how the reverse URL is actually working in context to Django Jinja template tag. Now what if I have done in case of Ajax? So let me take you in case of Ajax. We don't have any Jinja template tag. So first the root, then the stream, and then the delete, and then we have to provide the over here in the response stream as I showed over here, when you are clicking on the save button, I already told you a number of times, but still one more time. So when you are adding this particular list comprehension, so that list comprehension data has been stored over here, that is actually getting passed into the success of the JSON into the response, and from there we are iterating over each item of the list, and that is getting stored over here, and within that the ID is there. So that's how you have to formulate this particular route, because over here in Ajax we don't have Ginger template tag. So what you wrote over here, the same thing you are writing over here, but this one is without Ginger template tag. And we are giving a call to the method post, because again we have to give a call to my backend. I need to give a call to the backend, to this particular backend route I have to give a call. So for that reason this post message is there. And I also want that there should be an confirm dialog box will be shown with the following message, that are you sure you want to delete, and on basis of the response, if it is okay, if it is like, let me show you, as I click on this any of the random button, so this message comes. If I click on the OK, so that OK means it should give a call to this particular route. Same thing applied in case of this statement. If you click on the confirm dialog box and if you say it's okay, then only this particular endpoint will be called, otherwise not. So if I click the cancel button, the route will not be forwarded over here. Okay, clear? So one thing now you can well understand that there are two ways this particular button can be called. Either you are calling it as a page load, or directly you are clicking on the stream. At that point of time, this is the response coming from the template, not from the Ajax. So it is coming from the template. At that point of time, this particular confirmation dialog box will appear. Okay, so I can show you even just to make you understand that this is the confirmation dialog box coming from template. So let me write over here template to just to differentiate that which particular delete you are seeing. So it's a template, and this one is from Ajax. So I'm writing over here Ajax just to make you understand the difference. So let me stop the server and let me start once again, and here it comes. And now let me reload the tab. So now let me come to the home, and as I click on this is coming from the template. So if I click on any of this delete button, at that point of time we will see the template is mentioned, because we are giving a call to this particular endpoint list. Over here it's coming from, right? I have said it a number of times by now, you must have understood. So directly you are calling the template. So when Ajax will come in picture, well, after you have inserted a new record and immediately you decide to delete, then Ajax will get a call. Let me show you now. Suppose I'm inserting a new record over here. Suppose I'm writing MCA. I love MCA a lot, and I click on the save button. At that point of time, this is not edit HTML. This will be Ajax HTML. See, Ajax HTML. Ajax is getting a call, right? At this point of time, if I give a call to the delete, remember just this particular table got populated through the help of Ajax. So now if I give a call to the delete, this time you will be seeing Ajax and not template. Let me click on this, and here it comes. Are you sure? Oh, the cache is holding. The cache at this point of time is holding. That's the reason you're not seeing that. So let me again, you have to clear the cache. This is a problem in context to Ajax. Many times you have to clear the cache, and now if you reload it, see, you're back to the HTML. Okay, so let me clear this thing, and let me hopefully now it will work. Okay, so let me again insert, and let me remove some of the data from here, so that, see, each time I'm deleting, it is showing templates. Ajax is not getting called. Okay, it is a template from where the deletion is taking place. Okay, so far that's really nice. So now let's go and insert a new record, and this time I'm going to insert, suppose, IT, and this is going to be Ajax. Yes, the delete has been from Ajax, and now suppose if I click the button and look over here, now this time Ajax is getting called. You see, previously the cache was holding the data. That's the reason cache clearance is very important. So once you have inserted new record and immediately you decide to delete, that's the time when Ajax delete functionality is going to work. And if you are deleting from the existing record, that means not any new insertion has taken place, just the tab got loaded. At that point of time, it will be the template form of delete that will take place. Okay, that's how the difference is. So now see, it's an edit HTML. So that means once you have deleted at that point of time, what happens? Let me take you now to the view function. I believe you understood. So the control will come to this particular endpoint, and from here it will take you over here. Now let me explore you the function based view of the delete, and you will understand one interesting thing. That is why after deleting it is immediately changing to edit HTML rather not staying in edit AJAX. Why it is not saying? Now the secret will be revealed. Look over here, I am giving a call to the delete, and since we are passing this particular ID, stream ID, you have to keep that ID name as a form of parameter right over here. Okay, just like the way in case of edit, which is going to be my next video discussion, that what I'm passing over here, I'm passing over here, I kept it like this. So whatever URL variable you will declare, try to forward the same variable name as a parameter to the function based view. Now over here I'm written as none, because in case if stream ID is there or having any value, then none will be ignored. If there is no ID, at that point on none will be considered. It's just a formality, you have to do it. Okay, so already as we are deleting, at that point of time the ID will be there. Now what we are going to do is that we are giving a call to ORM get underscore object underscore or 404. That means you are trying to delete such a row which actually not there in the database, but in our case the record will be there because we are selecting from the button, so naturally record will be there. So in that case, get object will give me the particular row inside the reference variable called stream, and once we are getting that, then we are firing another ORM function called delete, and that will delete the particular row, and after deleting my database will be updated. Now we are forwarding this particular message called message success, streams deleted successfully. And after that, see over here, we are not giving back the response to JSON. We are not sending any response to JSON like what we did in case of add stream. We were sending a JSON response, but in this case I'm not sending any response in the form of JSON to AJAX. Rather I'm giving a call to redirect route, so it's coming right over here in the redirect route. So what redirect route will do is that it will map this particular name with my URL to see which URL actually it matches, and here the control will come because that's what I have written over here. So the name which I have given, by this name whichever alias URL path is matched, that particular view function will now be called. So the control will come right over here, and again the data has been picked up and we are giving a call to the template this time. That's the reason why immediately after delete you are seeing, previously it was AJAX. Let me show you once again, then you will understand. The moment I will insert, this time it will be AJAX, so I will go for CS. So now it is showing AJAX over here, but the moment I will delete, it will show delete HTML rather than delete AJAX because of this redirect route. Had the response forward in the form of JSON back to my AJAX, then the thing would have been different, which I'm not doing in this case. Had the response been so, I would have done it. But again, it's your choice. If you want to send the response like what we did in case of add stream, at that point of time also you can do it, but since we are directly giving a call to redirect, so that option is also wide open. So the control is coming to this particular route, and eventually it is redirecting to the template. For that reason, after I click the delete button, it will not be delete AJAX, rather it will be delete HTML, and here it comes, delete HTML. Okay, I believe I have explained all the nitty-gritty that is there in my application, why AJAX was there, how AJAX is working, how the template route is working, Jinja template tag, how it is working, how reverse URL is working. That is very important, reverse URL. This can be a standalone question, how it is working, and how this particular response that the AJAX is receiving is been rendered over here because we don't have any Jinja template tag over here. And I don't think that furthermore any more things left behind other than to explore the edit parts. Okay, so that's all from this video presentation. Make sure you go through this video as many number of times possible because this is really very important. I need to understand how the flow of control is taking place, how these variables, how these parameters are working, how the alias is working, and at the back and the end of the day how reverse URL is working. Okay, so in my next video we will explore the last CRUD operation. That is what we are left with as the update part. So we should keep on updating ourselves every time, right? So see you soon. Bye bye, take care.